A very good day. Welcome to LMS portal. Dr. Kavitha for BA Optional English 4th semester, section Poetry, session 21. The topic of this session is the poem CHUPULU, a Telegu word which means looks or stares, written by Jayaprabha, translated by Velacheru Narayan Rao. Let us have a quick glance at a thematic picture of the poem to know when will men stop looking or staring at a progressive woman in public. This is the theme of the poem, quite interesting as well as a bit sensitive issues. Before getting to the poem, let us know about the author, Jayaprabha. She received her doctorate at Osmania University in Telegu Theatre Studies. She published 7 volumes of poetry and she is the author of 2 books on literary criticism. She is also an editor of a journal called Lohita, which started in the year 1989, specially devoted to women issues. Her poems have been appearing in many Indian and international journals and in anthologies. Jayaprabha is a crusader who influences women being strong and professional. In this poem, particularly, she evokes essentially the sustainability of women in progress, despite all the odds that they face in their daily lives. If looks could kill a woman, then in this picture we could see whole the world staring at a woman in surprise at every bit and step of her success, which is a fine example of this poem. So let us get to the text now. Looks from 2 eyes, dart like needles, roam freely on flesh. The poem starts with much intensity of the author herself speaking from her heart, and she expresses her discomfortness of men looking at her or staring at her in public. She says their looks are like needles which pricks our heart, mind and body, and they are unaware of what kind of embarrassment that a woman could go through when she is stared by men behind. And it is true to the fact that every woman must have experienced such kind of embarrassment during their lifetime at one or other times. The poet thinks that there should be a way of dealing with this issue, and that is where this poem came up in her mind. So let me read the second stanza of the poem. The looks never look into the face, the words never come from the heart. They crawl on the body like white ants. disgust every time I see them. She tries to say that their looks, which means men who looks at women, they don't have anything to speak from their heart. They don't even know to express through their words, at least, but their vision is so sharp, and that vision directly it hits the unwanted place of a woman where she feels all uncomfortable. As a woman, Jayaprabha says that her blood boils when she sees any man staring at a woman. And she also doubts whether they don't have nothing to say or nothing to express, and they continue staring like that. She strongly assesses their vulgar attitude, saying that they fight with their body instincts like white ants. So in this context, let us have a quick note on this white ants, as to particularly the male ants are very destructive in nature. And they use a bait, the most reliable source for their survival. And that is the metaphor that she uses here, that they struggle with their instincts like white ants. And finally, she feels so disgust seeing men staring at women from behind. Let me go to the third stanza. Those eyes belong to a million class, but their looks are the same. She expresses her distrustedness. Let a man be of any class or of any time, their looks are the same. They may be different by class, by time, but yet their looks are the same, lustful. Here I have placed a few pictures to understand right from the past, particularly the black and white picture which was taken in 1930s to 40s. We can see a progressive woman who has been stared from behind. Coming to the second picture, the modern women at her workplace. She is constantly being stared behind. And what these people have in their mind. Now let us focus on the postmodern women. She is so positive and she walks her way towards success. But when will this men stop staring at her from behind? Sarcastically, she explodes to say that men who never speak from their heart, men who cannot express anything to what they wanted to say to a woman in a very disciplined manner, their looks are lustful, simply. And that is where her mind is so much preoccupied with lot many questions as such. When are they going to learn? What is going on in their minds? What do they get out of staring at us? So here she uses us denoting whole of the women generation. She literally feels like holding their collars and giving them a piece of advice, and that is where this poem was born. Now, getting to the fourth stanza, only one signal in those looks, hunger like a salivating dog's, an ugly bear fist chases you even in dreams. No difference between day and night. In this thick forest, no place at all to escape these looks. So in everybody looks, she sees the same signal, a kind of vulgar signal, and their expressions are not decent, but they pose so hungry like a salivating dogs. And here again she uses the metaphor in a very rigid sense. And still further she goes to explain them. They never leave women peaceful even in their sleep. They chase like ugly bears. And she also makes a comment that these men, they do not have or they do not know the difference between day and night. So everywhere there are men. So men are a symbolic to a forest, and she says no place at all to escape these looks. So in the forest, in the jungle, in the thick jungle filled with men, how can women escape from that jungle? All she thinks is that such looks having a vulgar expressions or signals, she could make out how poor men's insanity. She compares such men to hunger, salivating dogs. She goes on saying that these hungry dogs turns into a beast in her dreams also, and they do not know to differentiate between night and day. And obviously she thinks that the surrounding men are like thick forest and women have no escape. So now coming to a upshot question, why can't a girl or a woman be able to walk on the road without being stared at? Let's look forward for an answer in the next session. Thank you.